financial freedom. You being able to work from anywhere in the world. If you really want to know how to make money off Forex trading, you first of all must be willing to go through the process.
So I'm a new trader. I don't know anything about trading. I want you to tell me the steps that I can take.
All right.
To be able to take my first trade. Okay. Why market God?
All right. So basically, when I started, I got into the space of Forex. I was basically got to introduced by my school dad back then. Like when you say school dad in school, someone who's been with you in senior high, like your senior and all. Yeah. So fast forward, he was done with school. I was in the university, and then he was basically told me he's found something new, and it's called Forex. And I realized that he was doing so well. He was paying his little sister's school fees. He was settling his mom's bills. He opened businesses, and I was, so intrigued by that. I was like, can you teach me this? And he started, but he wasn't so consistent with me. But I found so much interest in that, and I began to do my own research. I was losing so much money. I was learning, but it was futile. I was doing everything. So I remember I lost a lot of money. Now my mom, even when I finished school, my mom was like, you're always by the computer. Nothing seems to be working right for you. What exactly do you want to do? I was like, Forex. She was like, Forex doesn't seem that thing's you put in money today is gone. She's like, okay, I'm going to give you money. I'm going to give you my last money. I can see you really want to do YouTube. So my mom bought me an A6300. That's a Sony A6300. And then I think about 3 weeks later, I sold it to put into the Forex market.
Oh, man.
$400. Yeah, I'm never going to forget. And not every story is rosy. I lost that money in a day. So I remember in 2020, yes, into 2021, that was 31st night. And mind you, I was very diligent, studying so hard, but I wasn't seeing results. I knew I was good. I was practicing. I didn't have the money. I knew I was good. I was almost at the verge of giving up. And then in church, 31st night, my pastor was like, he sees that this year millionaires are going to be made through Forex. And I screamed amen. And I think in that year, I was pacing in my room, just praying and just asking God, is this, what exactly do I really have to do? Because I don't want to continue. It's been 1 year of grinding, because I was a photographer working at a club. I was earning 200 CDs a month.
Whoa.
Yeah. I was working with, I don't want to mention his name, but one big person. I was earning 200 CDs and all. But I was like, nah. So while I was pacing in my room praying, I just heard, you are a market God. I was like, what? Wait, that can't be my mind. So I was first scared about it because I was like, if you say you're God, it means you're blaspheming and all. So I was scared about it. I was like, I just heard you are a market God. And the voice never came back again as confirmation. You are a market God. And because I really wanted to have Dela trades or Dela FX just like everyone else. But even at the time I got that, I was so broke. So I was like, how do I come out with that name when you have nothing? Yeah, there are people there, big people in the industry. But I took that name upon myself. And then with time, I found more confirmations in the Bible. The Bible says that ye are gods, but you do not know. And it says that you shall die like mere men because you don't know. So the lack of knowledge of that God side of you. So God wants us to be God in our careers. So I thought about it and I was like, no, I think this is it. I'm really a market God. So I knew that Forex is not just something I'm doing, but it's a calling. So I am the market God. Yeah.
Market God indeed, man. To goodness. A young man comes out of school, sees trading, because a lot of the time when you hear trading, you're thinking of the money-making potential only.
Facts.
And then, mom buys you a camera, right? You sell the camera. Meanwhile, you've lost a lot of money already.
Yeah.
And then you go back to the market, you lose that money again.
Mm-hmm.
Those processes, you failed several times.
Uncountable.
Plenty times. But what was the learning in between those failures?
Wow. Okay, so in my period of losing money, right, I realized one thing. Forex is something or a business that as you are reading it, it also reads you. Forex exposes who you truly are. if you're someone who is greedy, Forex will really expose you. If you're someone who lacks patience, Forex will expose you. If you're someone who doesn't have long suffering, Forex will expose you. So I realized that hidden within me were certain qualities that Forex were exposing. I never knew I was greedy with money. I never knew that I was impatient when it comes to money. Like I really wanted to double money quickly. So I realized that it was needful that I become patient when it comes to money, when it comes to trading. I realized that I needed to remove emotions when it comes to trading. I realized that I was not disciplined because I had a $50 account and I was entering big lots. Obviously, you're going to lose the money. And it kept happening and happening. And there were times where I would be losing money and be praying, God, by the time I open my eyes, the money is gone. And God said, I'm the market God. So you can imagine. I'm like, God, but you said. So there are certain things. So what I learned from it in that learning process is you want to take out emotions. You can't 100% take out emotions in trading, but you want to minimize emotions, right? And then you want to work on discipline, right? It's very important. You want to work on risk management. You want to work on long suffering, understanding that the fact that you've entered the trade now doesn't mean you're going to make the money now. You need to be patient. Allow the market to do what it has to do. You've done your work by analyzing. Allow it to do, right? So those are some of the, bits and things I learned from that process of learning. It was it was a very difficult journey for me to accept and even notice them, to write them down in my trading journal. Yeah.
Wow. Discipline. It was actually a question I was going to ask you in the end, but now I'm not going to ask you anymore because I think, most of the good traders that I've met, right? Or, forget that. Or even the people who work in the financial sector, managing people's finances, hedge funds and stuff. They are very disciplined in their decision making.
Very.
So no doubt you say it as one of the things that an individual needs to build. Now, was your mom not thinking that you're trying to scam people?
Okay, so thank God for my mom because she has an open mind. I had to sit her down and explain to her what exactly Forex is. She never thought I was doing anything fraudulent because I won't in the first place. Like I won't. I come from a very moral background. My parents will not. In fact, not even my parents. Like it just won't happen. Like I won't be in that position to just like scam anyone or anything. So my mom knew first off, like it can't be a scam, but she knew this thing is not something that can stay long for me to make money and make a living off. Yeah.
She didn't have the belief as you did.
She didn't have the belief. Yeah.
Because some of our parents, they've grown up knowing that when you finish school and you want to get a job, you go out there, look for a job, leave home at maybe 9:30, get to work at night, come home at 5. That's what they're used to.
True.
So when you're always sitting by the PC, they're like, what's this guy doing? They wonder. So it's nice that, your mom came, you guys had a chat.
Yeah.
Because to some people, sometimes in the beginning, when I was learning how to create websites, I'm always by the PC, right? Learning code and stuff. My dad would be like, are you not going to learn? But he didn't know that was learning for me. So yeah. Now, a lot of people think that, Forex especially is a scam. Now, particularly because of the lifestyle that a lot of Forex traders portray. Back in the UK, there was a guy called Elijah. I think that was his name, Elijah. He was a Nigerian guy. He made so much money from Forex, apparently. He bought a Bentley, gold Bentley, flaunting it everywhere. He had a company called, I think, DCT or whatever. But fast forward down the line, it was proven that he was a scammer. And I don't know how he was doing it, but I was just following the story because everybody wanted to be around him because of how much he portrayed that he has. What's that misconception and how can we differentiate, quality Forex traders to people who are just, trying to scam?
Okay, so the thing is, like, first off, especially in Africa or sub-Saharan Africa, Ghana to be precise, you'd realize that a lot of people tend to think Bitcoin is Forex trading. And it's two different things. Like we have the crypto market, we have the Forex market, and we even have the stock market,
Yes.
right? We even have the futures market, right? So there are a lot of markets, but when it comes to Forex trading, basically, like you are basically not like someone will say, like, for example, some of these scammers are like, what are you into? Oh, I'm into Bitcoin. Like, what do you do there? Bitcoin is basically you just like buying cryptos, holding it for a while. Even if you are trading actively, that has to do with forex. That makes more sense. You understand? So if you are trying to identify between someone who is like a professional forex trader and someone who is, a scammer, you're basically looking at the value the person has to give. You
Okay.
understand? Not the end results. Because if you're looking at the end results, people like to cover up things, right? Someone could be a scammer and say, I'm a Forex trader, and
Yeah.
is not necessarily making his money from the Forex market. Someone could actually be a Forex trader and not necessarily be making money from the Forex market, but from core sales and then other things, but not from the market. So you want to be looking at the kind of value that they produce. It's very important. If they say they're into Forex, are they really teaching something on their socials, or they're just flaunting? If it's just flaunting and nothing proves, like even if they don't show withdrawals of day taking trades, they don't even show trades, they can't even analyze a simple trade, they don't pass out information, and they're flaunting. What's the essence of flaunting if you're not going to be impacting? You understand? Yes. So I think the only difference is the value, what they have to show, what they have to prove. You understand? Yeah.
Market God. Is it possible for any individual to make a living through trading?
Look at me. I'm a full-time trader. Like,
Okay.
it's very possible. It looked far-fetched when I started. It looked like a mirage, but it's very possible, honestly speaking. And it's something that it takes a lot of process, and you must be willing to go through that process. I always tell people that just like any game, right? We first of all learn the rules, and Forex is no different. If you really want to know how to make money off Forex trading, you first of all must be willing to go through the process. But one thing we find a lot of people doing is that they are not willing to go through the process, but they are willing to taste of the end result of it, which they end up losing money. You understand?
It's true. But then what percentage must you win to be able to make it a living? Because sometimes when people hear professional trading, somebody that's making a living out of trading, they don't think they make any losses.
Okay. So when you say what percentage must you earn to make a living, everyone is different. Okay, sure.
Must you win in the sense that, let's say you take 10 trades on gold. How many of those trades must go right?
Okay, this question also, like, it kind of boils down to, first of all, the person's lifestyle and the
Okay.
person's account, because there's someone here who can easily live on $2,000 a month. There's someone here who can live on 1,000 cedis a month. You understand? So it depends on, first of all, the account size. If you say a professional trader, it does not automatically mean that person is trading $100,000 or $10,000. The whole goal of Forex trading or trading, to my opinion, is financial freedom. You being able to work from anywhere in the world, you being able to have time for what exactly you love whilst making money by having access to your computer anywhere in the world. So personally for me, let's say I live on 1,000 cedis a month. Definitely, if I have a trading account of 10,000 cedis, that means it is going to take me 10% for me to actually earn my expenses, which is what, 1,000 Ghana cedis. So therefore, it boils down to risk management. How am I going to actually, make so and so amount of money out of that particular account? You understand? So it's all boiled down to risk management, your cost of living, your expenses, and then your account size.
So I'm a new trader. I don't know anything about trading. I want you to tell me the steps that I can take
All right.
to be able to take my first trade.
All right. So the very first thing that you need to do is you need to educate yourself, right? You can never ignore education. A man without education is a damned man, right? If you don't have education in this, you are going to be losing. In fact, the people that call Forex a scam are the people who lack the knowledge about it. It's not a rumor out there. They're actually people saying it because they've come, their money got missing in the market, and they are wondering, where did it go? These people took money. No one took your money. You made a loss. You pressed that button and you lost that money. You understand? So the first thing is you need to find good education, and you need to get a good mentor. You need to do your own research. You need to take your time, find someone who you think is good at a craft, learn from that person. Once you are done, the second step that you need to do is you need to get yourself a reliable broker. A broker is basically an intermediary between the retail trader and the financial markets, right? So they operate based on a model of leverage. They're actually giving you access into the financial market, because back then you cannot, as a normal person, trade on the financial market. You needed a minimum of $250 million. But thank God for brokers and leverage, we have access to the financial market. Then the third thing you need to do is to practice, right? You need to practice whatever that you've learned from that person. Practice. And one thing I'll advise people is that, let's say you've gone through the steps. Let's say you've learned from Eyram Dela. You got yourself a reliable broker, which you know they're not going to run away. You want to make sure they're regulated. Then the next step is you want to practice whatever Eyram has taught you. Now, let's say you want to actually make this a full-time job. You first of all need to know how much money you kind of spend in a month. So let's say Derek spends $2,000 a month, right? Now, if Derek spends $2,000 a month, how much can Derek be investing into the market? No return can give you, like, you can't just be making 100% on your return just like that, right? You can actually make that from Forex, right? But that's risky. If you want to go on a more subtle base, you want a significant amount of money and be making at least 10 to 20% a month. That is reasonable. If you have 20 grand in your bank, in your trading account, right, and you are making $2,000 a month, trust me, life can be very easy as a Forex trader. So you want to ask yourself that if this is the amount of money you can afford, then in your practice stages, you want to deposit a demo account of, let's say, $20,000. And you're going to be practicing as though that is your initial amount of money and your target is $2,000, which is your expenses. You're going to do that over a period of 3 to 6 months, and you're going to go through a series of turbulence, series of wins, series of losses, and you learn from that experience to know that when your real money gets in, this is how exactly you're supposed to be trading. You get it? So that is basically a very short procedure.
I have an understanding that it is not possible to experience emotions on a trading account, on a demo account.
Yes.
Because sometimes, as you know, you have a demo account, and because it's not your money, you take the trades, but you don't feel the emotions. But then you also know that it is the emotions that allows you to make the decisions, either good or bad.
Yeah.
So how do we address that?
Okay, that's a very good question. So personally for me, one thing I advise my mentees is that always start with a small live account instead of a demo account. The reason I say this is because before you even start trading on a live account, you first of all have knowledge, right? So don't jump the step by getting a live account when you don't have knowledge. You have the knowledge now. Now you want to be practicing with a small live account because you are building what you call emotional stability in the market, emotional intelligence. Listen, it is not normal for you to have a $200 account, take a trade and be seeing a loss of $7, and in the next minute you are seeing a profit of $14. You come back and then you are seeing negative $2. It's a whole roller coaster. But what you don't know is that that process is what is building your emotions to be able to be stable in the market and know that regardless, my discipline is saying that my system is telling me that this market is going to go from point A to point B. So I need to be patient, hold up, wait, and allow the market to do what it has to do. As you are doing that severally, is building what you call emotional intelligence and stability in you and giving you the opportunity to be able to master your emotions and take better decisions in the market.
My goodness. What has been your worst time in the market?
Wow, when I lost $35,000 in a single day.
In a day?
Yeah.
On which pair?
Gold. Daddy, my pillow was here. I slept this way. I'll never forget. I was shaking.
$35,000.
Yeah, and I grew from $2,000 to $35,000. Yeah.
Right, and then you lost it.
Yeah, even as a professional trader, so it's not all rosy. Yeah, but I can't show you that because I'm not here to show you my losses. I'm here to to motivate you. I'm here to
that's it.
impact you, to tell you that it's possible.
That's it.
Right? Yeah.
That's it. And it's all part of it.
Yeah.
It's all part of the game. You know, the famous saying, you beat a man down, you get up.
Yeah. 1,000 more times. Yeah.
Get up.
Twice as tall.
You know?
Yeah.
So, my goodness. I mean, I asked that question, your worst time in the market.
Yeah, even when I lost that money, I just kept asking myself, I could have bought myself a car. Like, you know, I was eyeing a Camaro then.
Oh my goodness.
The funny thing is, so with me, I have this attitude of when I lose money on the market, I buy something more expensive to prove to the market that, my friend, you can't just take my money off like that. So the next week I bought myself a Camaro.
I see.
Yes, and I sold it off again because I realized that I love sports cars.
Okay.
And looking at them from afar, like I was like, wow, I never sat in one. So I bought one right after that loss. I think 2 days later, I bought one, and after using it for a while, I realized that nah, all is vanity.
Yeah.
So I had to sell it, and obviously the person I bought it from didn't give it to me back at that price. So I ended up losing more money.
You lost money
Yeah,
on that market again.
on that same market again. Yeah. Wow. So yeah, it was such a very sad moment for me.
To be able to, you know, for anyone who has lost any amount of money, to be able to sit here and take further trades. I told you, when I first went on the market, 2017, I lost £5,000 flat. And I left. I ghosted in the market. That's because I was not prepared to get back studying, you know, work on my emotions. I was not prepared because I was doing other things. I was not prepared to make it a living. I was not prepared to do it as you are. But for you to be able to go down that much and come back up, then the next question I'm going to ask is, what's been the best time so far?
Okay. So the best time is not just the moment, but it was a season. All right. I can say the peak of it was when I made about $7,300. And I think in that time, the rate amounted to 100,000 cedis in a day. But I made more than that in a day. I made more than that in like a week or in a span or in a season, right? That was when like I had a serious winning streak in gold. And I think that's where like my name blew up and a lot of people knew me as like the gold god, market god, that kind of thing, right? It was a season where like literally every trade that I would take, I never had like a loss in a single day. And you know, like I give out signals. I actually give people signals and they could testify like back to back it was wins. And I thank God for that moment that I was actually trading like a live account. So I was literally making back money like every single time on the market. So there's this saying that I always say that I'm forever stuck in profit. Like even if I take a loss today, like 10K, I'm forever stuck in profit. Yeah.
Wow. No, you've done great.
Thank you.
You've certainly done great. So I guess, you know, because you're known for gold and you do a lot of gold, this may be a silly question, but I'll ask anyway. What are your top 3 pairs?
Is it safe to say gold, and gold?
You can even add another gold to it. You can make it 5 golds.
Okay, so obviously my top pair, number 1 is gold. Number 2, I'm going to say Euro JPY. The reason I'll say Euro JPY is because it has a very beautiful structure and aligns so well with the market, right? And the third pair I'm going to say is Euro NZD.
Okay.
It's actually a very beautiful pair. It gives a significant amount of pips, but the spread level is quite huge. Just that it's a very beautiful pair. So gold, Euro JPY, and Euro NZD. In fact, I was trading Euro NZD before gold. Yeah.
If we take this back to Derek the New Trader, and then I asked you, what is a lot size? How would you explain it so that it makes it very easy for me to understand?
Okay, so basically a lot size is like what allows you to make either a significant amount of money on the market or a lesser amount of market. It is the determining factor to be making a significant amount of money or taking a significant amount of risk on the market. Yeah, that in layman's term, like
Layman
yes,
terms. Yeah.
So the more lot size, the more risk. The less lot size, the less risk you
Yeah.
take.
And then you also mentioned as well leverage from the
Yes.
brokers.
Yeah.
Now, what is that?
Okay, so leverage is basically like the brokers giving you access to more money than you have. As I said earlier on, back then you don't have access to actually trade the market, right? So these brokers actually give us what we call leverage. So they're actually giving us, let's say, more money than we have deposited to be able to access it. So they are more like virtual funds. So leverage allows us to actually either make more money or lose significantly. If you're actually trading on a high leverage, you can make more money. That means you can enter more trades. You understand? So when you look at some brokers, they give up to a leverage of 1:100, which is a lower leverage, 1:400, which is a higher leverage. That means whatever you've deposited times 400. You
Right.
understand?
Yeah.
Yeah. And like that. So the more leverage, the more amount of risks you are open to on the market.
Just because you said you love gold so much and you've dropped every pair to just focus on gold.
Yeah.
Beautiful. That's such a niche, you know. But then I beg them to ask this question. What is it about gold you found that makes you say, this is it, this is it?
The same person who called me market gold is the same person who said the gold and the silver is mine. Yeah, but that was just but I realized that after trading all other pairs, in fact, I was trading every single pair. In fact, my favorite pair was Euro NZD and GBP NZD. I used to trade with a doctor friend of mine. She's called a girl who trades. Yeah, she's currently a mom. Yeah, and we're trading that pair crazy. But I realized that I was doing so well on gold. And even my mentor, Kojo Forex, actually told me, you're doing so well on gold. So you need to focus more. And there's something about the market which is called edge. And it's something that happens in everyday life, right? You realize that if you put players on the park, you realize that as good as Kudus or Messi is, if you put him at defense, he can't play so well, right? But if you put him at this particular position, he's going to play so well. Why? Because he has an edge in that particular area. So one thing I realized is that why not focus on that particular edge and build it more? And one of the books that really helped me with that is called The One Thing. I don't remember who wrote it, but if you search for it, you find it. Yeah. So.
And for somebody who listens to you, watches you, one of your mentees is probably thinking to themselves, okay, when you look at a gold chart, how do you make a decision, you yourself, when you're sitting in that seat, technically?
Okay, so I have a very simple system. First off, I go to the daily time frame because I want to identify the trend of the market. Then I look out for significant zones in the market where price has reacted, which a lot of people would call support and resistance areas. Then if the market is in a particular trend, say a downtrend, and the market has broken, let's say, a support level, I'll be looking for price to push back into that support level. Then I'll be looking for what you call candlestick confirmations, which signify, strong indications that the market is about to move in a particular way. I enter the market and I make money. It's as simple as that. But it's more technical to that.
Of course, it's a lot more technical than that.
Yeah.
But then, and in the market, there's something called stop loss.
Yeah.
And then there's something called take profit.
Yeah.
In a good scenario where you've looked at a chart on gold, then you're making your decision. What would be a good number of stop loss for you?
Okay. Personally, for me, I've always been because I really know how to trade gold well, my maximum stop loss on gold is 40 pips. And my usual take profit on gold is 100 pips. Facts.
That's a huge risk reward ratio.
That's because I'm a day trader, not a scalper.
Right.
Yeah. So I've been backtesting for some time. I realized that certain times where I find a setup that gives me 20 pips stop loss. There's certain times I find certain opportunities that give me 30 pips stop loss. So it varies between 20 to 40 pips. You understand? So yeah.
Somebody may be thinking that for a person who has taken trading as a day job, you're on the market every day. Is that true? Do you go to the market every day?
Okay, so I don't go to the market. So what I do is every morning when I wake up, the first thing I look at is the charts. Aside, thank you, God. In fact, while I was looking on the charts, I'm playing some gospel.
Thanking God?
Thanking God because, right? So whilst I'm looking up on the charts, I am basically looking out to see whether today is going to be a good day. So we are basically looking into the future of the markets, what's going to happen, right? And as I'm analyzing, I'm spotting. Now, if I make a significant amount, I actually have targets, right? But because I have a community, I need to feed them, right? Because my targets can be someone's starting point, right? Personally, for me, so I actually look out for opportunities on the market. Let's say Monday, I make a win. Tuesday, I make a win. Wednesday, I make a win. I'm okay. I make my withdrawal. I'm done for the week. But because of my community, where I need to help more people to make money, when I look out for opportunities and I see one, I call it out, but I do not take the trade because I am disciplined enough to know that I have hit my target. You get it? So I do not trade every day. There are certain times in the market where Monday you'll not find an opportunity. I don't force it. Tuesday, I don't force it. Wednesday, I don't force it. Thursday, I don't force it. And Friday will be a big one. There are times where I'll have only a loss, 2 losses in the whole week, and there's no win.
Okay.
Yeah. And that discipline to be patient and say that I'm going to come back again the next week. That's what makes a trader. That's what makes a pro trader. So yes, I don't come to the market I don't trade every day. Yeah. People know me for that. If you come to my group, don't force me. Allow me to.
Don't force me.
Yeah, don't force me.
Yeah. In trading, as you also know, that there's something called fear of missing out.
Yeah.
As you're saying, you don't come to the market every day. And then you see an opportunity on a Wednesday. But then you've hit your target already Monday, Tuesday. And you don't see the need to take that trade. Don't you feel like you're missing out?
Honestly, it's a lot of, that has to do with a lot of psychology, right? If you ask me, because what if it also goes out? Nothing is 100% in the market. Nothing is 100% in the market. So you want to actually have that in mind and know that in as much as you think you can be missing out, no matter how good the setup is, it can also go against you. Because number one, you are going against your trading rules. So to me personally, it's one of the things that I can say I have a strong hold on in terms of the fear of missing out. I don't, for that one is I don't allow it to get to me. Yeah.
Now, how do you then advise your mentees to build their FOMO?
Okay. So personally, in building your fear of missing out in the market, I feel like you need to establish a set of rules for yourself, right? You need to tell yourself that, hey, you need to set targets, right? And you need to set even amounts of money you want to be losing in a day. So let's say you have 10,000 cedis, 2,000 cedis. In a day, you don't want to be losing more than 600 Ghana cedis, right? I'm just giving an example. Let's say you hit that 600 Ghana cedis and you spot another opportunity on the market, right? At that moment, you feel like, I lost 600 cedis and this could be the opportunity where I'm going to be making my money back. But what you don't know is that you're also breaking another rule, which is called revenge trading. Because now your system says that don't trade when you've lost 600 cedis because your mental capacity over a time cannot withstand. So whatever decision you are making, it could look all beautiful, but it could be a lie. And I call something the 7 deadly sins, right? Number 1, fear, greed, and the rest. We'll talk about that later. Yeah, the 7 deadly sins of trading, right? And one of them is revenge trading. One of them is impatience. So allowing that, hey, no, I know that I have taken this trade. Let me allow the market to do. Tomorrow is going to be another day. We'll wake up and there will be another move on the market. So you just need to establish a set of rules that can help you to stay disciplined.
So you've really got to be patient when you take a trade and
So
be patient when the setup is not ready.
Yes. And even be patient when you take a loss.
Whoa, because otherwise you revenge.
Because you need to wait for another opportunity.
I guess this ties into trading without fear.
Yeah.
Because once you build all of these things, then it'll be a lot easier to take trades.
Yeah.
Because sometimes certain traders can stay on demo accounts for a long time. They have an account ready, but they are still demoing.
And that's also another sickness. Yeah. If you ask me, is that also another sickness because you can't just keep doing demo when you know you are good. You need to take a risk. Like the whole essence of trading is taking risk. You understand? There's a saying that wealth favors the bold, right? Anybody you see today that has made it took a risk. Personally, for me, when I finished university, my dad asked me to manage his company, like young boy, CEO of his company, auctioneering company, something else. I was like, no, I want to follow my dream. He said, then I'm not going to give you money anymore. I resorted to doing small jobs, working in the club, earning that 200 cities. I used to be a drone pilot. I used to do a lot of things like just to make that was a risk I was taking when I didn't even know that would this Forex thing even work for me, right? So taking a risk is super important. Like you need to be able to take risks in the market, knowing that but taking calculated risk is what's going to help you and stay and that's what's going to help you to stay long in the market. Yeah.
Calculated risk.
Yes.
Now let's use that to then bring in risk reward ratio.
Okay.
What does that mean?
Okay, so risk to reward ratio in layman's term is basically how much you are willing to risk for how much you are willing to gain, right? So for example, let's say that as a businessman, you want to invest in a business, and this is why I love Forex. Let me ask you, let's say you are into gadget sales. You bought your iPad for 10,000 Ghana cedis and you want to sell it to me as a businessman. How much are you going to sell it to me? Just give me an
I'll
example.
probably add about 30% to it.
30%. So that means you are not even making 1:1. That means whatever you have bought, you're not even going to make 100% profit.
No.
But when it comes to Forex trading, right, the minimum risk to reward is at least 1:1.
I see.
And even that one is considered gambling because why would you risk $20 to make $20? You get it? So with risk to reward, personally for me, when I started, my risk to reward was a minimum of 1:2. That means if I'm risking $20, I want to be making $40. If I'm risking $1,000, I want to be making $2,000. If I'm risking $20, I want to make 40, 10, 20, 30, 60, like that. So that is basically the scenario of risk to reward. So how risk to reward helps you is that it allows you to save a lot of money on the market. Now, let's say that your risk to reward is 1:3. And let's say you're risking $20, right? So let's say your first trade, you win $60, which is a risk to reward of 1:3 because $20 times 3 gives you $60. Now, let's say your next two trades, you lose. So you've lost two trades, which is what, $40, and you've won only one trade, but you're still profitable. You have $20 left.
Okay.
That's the essence of risk to reward.
But then you've got to be patient when it's going up.
Exactly.
Or when it's going down.
It's actually a very difficult concept.
That's very difficult.
Yeah. So to start, just do 1:2. Personally, for me, even till now, I still do 1:2.5, 1:3.
Because sometimes the problem is that, especially on gold, that trade is going, oh, it reverses. Maybe you are in 50%, 1:1.
Yeah.
Then it reverses. Then your stop loss has been hit.
Yeah.
And then you are thinking, I should have taken 1:1.
Yeah.
At least.
Or sometimes you can just like break even, prevent the market from hitting your stop loss.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Thank you so much, guys, for listening. And if you haven't shared any of our content, please do and leave a comment. Let us know what you think about this, because we are doing this because we want to give value and make people understand that we are all connected.